dagger.
This is really, really smart from the side of FlyQuest because you banned out the captain. Venom is just a hitbox, a walking hitbox, being able to stave it off.
Nice to note here too, with the portals being opened up, and you also got to see Navi getting a little bit of that shield just in case it opened up these fights. But it's about taking control over the high ground to start off this fight. As you can see, FlyQuest now making that swap up. Vez over into that Magneto, one of the best roles he represents, as Energy and Vision are rocking the team up between the Namor and Hela.
Navi didn't walk up though, they portaled in. Trust me, on the Venom will be able to regroup with them because they wanted to hold the high ground off of the angle for the Hela and Namor, but FlyQuest still managed to find the first pick, and BRB was not up to save level 1 Crook. FlyQuest now with the Magneto putting their position onto the point, forcing Navi into a brawl tempo rather than a dive, and that's going to be first cap picked up for FlyQuest.
Just as quick as they started up this fight, now they're going to be able to take control over the fight, but it's not over. Look at the split position of Navi to the side, as Navi, they retaliate. They find both strategists off of FlyQuest. No sustainability here for FlyQuest, as now Vision, he gets the retaliation, but Jerky being on the sidelock gets enabled together with Raajaro.
I mean, Jerky just has everything that a Psylocke could want, right? A Venom to create the space, the projection team up coming on through with Raajaro on the ammo, and the idle aura from level 1 Crook. We said that you had to be worried about the Psylocke, and Navi have absolutely everything that the Psylocke could desire. Their stance of the butterflies should be absorbed by the doppelgangers, but Navi have the Ensong Inferno to shut that down too.
Off the Snowflake and a BRB, you're going to be able to get a lot more aggressive as TrqstMe's looking to make some space. Look at Jerky. He's creeping about before he tries to get the jump on the strategist up on the bridge. Invisible, the follow-up together with the team up that Emma Frost provides here. He's looking for the opportunity to get the Dance of Butterflies, but they need to wait for these strategist ultimate to come out. But with Cooper going down, no God of Mischief, it's up to Zelos and the Eternal Bond. As a meteor comes up, it must find itself going down onto Navi. Now, as they try to survive, they're holding onto these ultimates for quite some time.
Cosmic Yawn Amplifier, Horn of Proteus from Vision, but Ensong Inferno prevents any momentum picked up by that Namor ultimate, and Navi are still in control of this point. Jerky with the projection manages to make it back to his ammo. Raajaro shields him off with the Aegis, and FlyQuest are forced to swap. Tidal Dirge team up taken away. Energy has to go onto the Winter Soldier and look for the neutral shutdown on the dive instead.
It's the fact that Jerky, by the way, is already at 80% in ult charge after we just saw the Dance of Butterflies. Furthering your point, Moxie, about what you were mentioning about the Groot 2, as Cooper holding on to that God of Mischief after he had gone out early in that previous fight. You have to imagine now, as Cooper's looking on the back end.
It's too early! It's preemptive, which means that Navi are just going to wait it out. Cooper has to come on through with the Fate of both worlds in response to Raajaro's ultimate, but that means that they're not going to have the Loki ultimate to shut the Dance of the Butterflies down. It has to be an aggressive play when they've still got the Fate of both worlds up, but they haven't found the elimination. Jerky is on the field. The Loki doppelgangers too are able to absorb the damages, but that means that they have nothing for when the Feast of the Abyss comes through, and Navi in overtime are clearing FlyQuest positions.
And together with the anti-heal, even with the Eternal Bomb used up, nice Terror Cape to find level 1 Crook, but with Vision going down, they are outnumbered. Currently, TrqstMe, Fate, here's popping off, overtime, taking away, forces out the recontention with the portal.
Regeneration Domain does mean that FlyQuest will be able to stabilize temporarily through that portal, but they don't have the numbers, they don't have an ultimate when the fight is fresh, and Regeneration Domain is still active. They go for the soft dive, try and force it out, back away, stabilize, come back in again with the Dance of the Butterflies, as they are just generating it so quickly. That's sort of the double-edged sword, if you will, about running a Loki. More doppelgangers on the field mean more bodies for the Psylocke to be able to farm the ultimate off.
He comes in clutch, and that's why Jerky's been able to get these ultimates so quickly in a lot of these engagements now, as FlyQuest, they want to try to get this point first. We know how strong it is to take control over this fight in the very beginning, as Vision does have that ultimate ready to go. That's the Meteor and SparkChief now making that swap over to the Angela to get more disruption online. But look at TrqstMe and the Feast of the Abyss.
SparkChief, like you said, on that Angela will be able to intercept some of these dive setups from TrqstMe. Won't be able to intercept the Feast of the Abyss. And everyone from Navi were already on the point to be able to follow up the damage and the anti-heal. And oh my goodness,
no.
They're just delaying the pick.
And this, every time you get a first fight stagger too on Dom, it is so crucial because now you get even more progress on the points. You extend your lead. FlyQuest, sure, they'll be able to come right back around. And with Vez making a swap over to the Emma, I do agree with this, right?
Yeah.
Even with the Magneto that we saw in our previous series, by the very end of that series, it wasn't really finding their mark. If you're not being able to land these Meteor Ramps, it's crucial in a lot of these matchups, especially when you have a Luna that you're dealing with.
Vez's presence as well, with the threat of Carbon Crush, should be enough to force TrqstMe's positioning away from the Vanguard, allowing FlyQuest to start pushing their way forward, angling for that frontline brawl with both the Bucky and the Phoenix getting to play with the main core and the off angle. We still have to worry though about Jerky. With the Dance of the Butterflies, Silent Seduction opens the way. Jerky gets the elimination of the Cooper. No doppelgangers, no regeneration domain, no player from FlyQuest will be able to survive the onslaught, and Navi walk away, but silver lining, it's at least a fast fight, a precious percentage picked on up in comparison to what it was before.
Is it going to be worth it when FlyQuest are sweating when they try to get the counter pick to deal with Jerky on having this Emma Frost, trying to get the choke slam that they're covering and enabling Jerky with? They still have Crooks, Fate of both worlds. They still have Fate and the Sia as SparkChief. Force it back away, but now here on the Angela still is trying to get this disruption while Zelos can start the fight with the Eternal Bond.
FlyQuest, like you said, starting off that fight, likely with the Eternal Bond off of the portal, getting to close the position onto the point. Ensong Inferno is the first ultimate to try to deal with Na'Vi. Out comes that Eternal Bond, allowing FlyQuest to move on forward, but we've got Fate of both worlds from Na'Vi's end, damage boosting the Ensong Inferno, and Cooper through the ultimate falls. FlyQuest now relying on SparkChief in overtime. The Heaven's Retribution not going to be able to pick up the stall that it looks for. Energy's onto the Doctor Strange, but Vicky, I don't think there's enough time.
The speed run after map 1 alone, a compass was just so much to deal with.
And they managed as well to pick FlyQuest for so many of those strategist ultimates too. Like, that's the reason.
Over to Midtown, but they also choose which side they want to start on. And in defense, you also have to take care.
They targeted the Loki, but these bans are not.
Oh, my favorite, everybody, is listening to Moxie getting upset when she sees this Ultron into a Psylocke matchup. It is the absolute best, and it's exactly what you were talking about, right? Because we see a lot of these counter picks as Jerky, already taking some damage, but you see Energy taking control over the high ground as, once again, FlyQuest being on this defense, trying to get the disruption, but also the damage done to boost into that Galactic Legend.
So one of the benefits of the Ultron against the Psylocke, or against the dive rather, is that he is undiveable. And starting off on the defense, Vision does at least have so much distance between himself and the Psylocke. He's currently not being pressured by the one-tap potential, which does mean that FlyQuest are building Rage of Ultron and allowing the triple strategist line to be able to stabilize with there's a staple on this Magneto. Moving on forward, has to deal though with the rushdown potential of Raajaro. The Carbon Crush will be shielded off, and FlyQuest are able to stabilize. Jerky still not able to find a way through, but look at what he's doing. He's not diving, he's building, he's been farming the Dance of the Butterfly. Soul Resurgence comes on through from FlyQuest, but that means that Navi get to come on through with an uncontested invisible boundary.
Oh, Fate holding back a little bit with this invisible boundary, kind of putting it behind the payload. FlyQuest still holding forward, and now with the Galactic Legend, it forces out level 1 Crook to have the Fate of both worlds. Energy flying all around them. Get the fly swatter as Naga tries to retaliate. Meteor M! It comes crashing down with the LeBron at the Fate. He cannot get away, but look right behind you, SparkChief, noticing where that pesky Star-Lord is going to be backing away because Navi, it's back to the drawing board after losing out on Raajaro.
We might need to rename the meatball into the mosquito net as Vez just sorts out of the sky Navi's Fate. Vision still as well holding on to this Rage of Ultron. CC immunity will also have the aerial dynamics to stay above the Feast of the Abyss's incoming damage, but that's where the anti-heal starts to come on through. And there is Rage of Ultron, but it's not going to be able to save the players from all of that incoming damage. Does mean, though, that they've kept energy alive on the Star-Lord to take out Jerky, who was the next cycle of aggression from Navi's end. And this Ultron pick is working out for FlyQuest.
It was big, too, because it was boosting into the Dance of Butterflies, but you cannot ignore who is harassing your backline. Again, look at Raajaro, that's Psionic Seduction almost online, but I'm also looking at these strategist ultimates, too. They used up the Rage of Ultron earlier as a Psionic Seduction comes out next. Jerky, Dance of the Butterflies, as he gets put to sleep. They thanks to Cooper being on that Mantis, the insurance policy that they needed, but they have to recontest as SparkChief is alone up here in the front.
They look to do so with Cosmic on Amplifier, but level 1 Crook pops Fate of both worlds, and only one of these healing strategists has a health bar attached to their ultimate. FlyQuest now relying on the Galactic Legend to clear the board, but Vez has already fallen. Invisible Boundary slows everybody down into the Dance of Butterflies, stacked with the Galactic Legend, because this is about to be overtime. If NAVI aren't careful, they need to finish out the fight now before FlyQuest can stall for a portal play, and we go into second.
Oh no, run as fast as you can. If the Mantis can get back to the team, and she does get away here. You see the double jump too, just getting right back on top of the payload. But after clearing out this point, no BRB to help them out from Zelos after Cooper had gone down first, and that was the win con here for NAVI to be able to get that first checkpoint.
I'm really worried about this Ultron, Vicky. Not only are you up against the Psylocke, you're up against the Star-Lord too. Rage of Ultron at least has been generated, so FlyQuest, if they feel pressured, might use it to break out of Subway Tunnel. As NAVI just continue applying the pressure, there it is. Bullock onto Vision, sending him aggressively into Navi's back line. Pushed on forward with Cooper's Soul Resurgence, and the Ultron might not heal as much as he did, but he still does the same amount of damage. FlyQuest button the hatches, stall out the momentum from Navi, and are now in a good position with a flying composition to be able to scout and mark Navi's rotations. But do they have the read on Jerky's position? Oh my goodness.
No way.
The Psylocke gets to use the crates. He's a hide-and-seek master.
Dude, he knows. SparkChief is like, where is he? I'm looking for him. Oh, he heard him go invisible. They called him out. A few seconds of invisibility before backing away. And that goes hand in hand with seeing double with the Emma Frost team up as energy. He's found TrqstMe, but Jerky's going to continuously be a problem to the backline of FlyQuest, especially forcing out Zelos and that BRB.
The problem for them is that Jerky doesn't have LOS until now to receive the Idol Aura. Flanks onto the left side, gets it from level 1 Crook. Level 1 Crook with the Fate of both worlds too. Trying to keep the teams the same through Energy's Galactic Legend, but he still fights the pick through. But look at what Jerky's doing. They saw the FlyQuest was split, and they punish the spread.
Give Jerky a pay raise. It's insane. Not even with the invisible boundary. You don't even need it. Look how low he is, and he's still holding forward. He's getting enabled as TrqstMe helps him out. He goes down, but Jerky finds another.
Oh my goodness, that Psylocke was just able to find the elimination through the activation time frame of the Soul Resurgence. Vision does have Rage of Ultron, but he's not currently in the fight to use it. It falls instead of FlyQuest, stalling it out long enough for him to come back into play. Vez with the Meteor and finds the connection onto Fate. No invisible boundary, but no Meteor M to absorb the Galactic Legend damage.
And now with Naga flying around here with that Galactic Legend, you have to look at SparkChief trying to look for the interruption too. Jerky finds Zelos next, who has not been able to set up with these BRBs as well, as Jerky gets shut down. Vision knows what he has to do. It's a trade up on both sides, as NAVI, they're down in numbers. FlyQuest are looking to wake up.
Vision, the perfect timing. If he'd used the Rage of Ultron any moment earlier, he would have been taken down by the Galactic Legend, as it just manages to melt through the Ultron self-healing, and it was because of the Vanguards that he was able to hold on to it for so long. FlyQuest now continuing to put the pressure onto NAVI. 20 seconds later, invading into that space, making sure that Jerky doesn't have a position, but yet again, the two spread out. The numbers are too thin to absorb the damage of Dance of the Butterflies, and Jerky has brought his team back into this fight.
Dance of the Butterflies as Jerky's always in the driver's seat. Energy can't do anything alone, and with overtime taken away, NAVI are looking to get this next checkpoint.
Portal, can they get the portal off in time, or will NAVI pick up second before it goes through? Yes, they will. FlyQuest didn't have a player ready to be able to go onto the objective and hold the timer for that portal to come on out. NAVI get to move into third, but FlyQuest, yet again, with this flying composition, if they win one fight, because they have so much cover through the outside of this building, should be able to find the shutdown. But for NAVI, it's all about the Kraken impact. No strategist ultimate ready to be able to stave it off. Cooper with the Soul Resurgence just isn't going to do the healing required.
And with Vez getting taken down, Crook sets NAVI up to control this space. They're looking at Energy. He's got the Galactic Legend, but with the Fate of both worlds used up, Energy's waiting for the very tail end of that ultimate.
Galactic Legend, but Invisible Boundary comes on through from Fate. The Winter Soldier's outside it though, and that was the one pick that FlyQuest needed. Vision has the Rage of Ultron, uses it after the Feast of the Abyss damage comes on through, trying to heal his back line. The peel is there, but it's insufficient. The anti-heal still applied, and it's Na'Vi with the Feast of the Abyss continuing to move the payload forward.
Oh no, this Venom's a whole problem. This is crazy. Seeing what TrqstMe is doing onto the backline of FlyQuest. Look at Naga, Kraken Impact online, reset potential together with Jerky 2.
Bez might be able to shut this down. The Bucky has to use the projectiles, but no, FlyQuest has to use the meteor to buy the space back in. That Kraken Impact should be staved off though by the fate of both worlds if they even allow it to come through in the first place. Heaven's Retribution peeled off by Dance of the Butterflies, and FlyQuest are losing player after player.
Too much damage output for them to deal with as Na'Vi. They're walking the dog with the payload. Jerky, he finds Vision next. That destroys the opportunity to build into the Rage of Ultron. As Zelos, they force the overtime, the recontention with the portal from Na'Vi.
Kraken Impact, Feast of the Abyss at the same time, just after Zelos' ultimate has ended. Cooper still supplying sustainability for FlyQuest. Is it going to be long enough? Vision 5% away from having Rage of Ultron online. Will be able to find the damage and the healing. Invisible boundary bolts for Na'Vi. They're losing their players though, and that should be FlyQuest turning the tide. They just have to deal with this Eye of Agamotto.
That invisible boundary was just a little too short. Eye of Agamotto, it does find Zelos, but a nice safety from Vez to get the bubble, protecting them and preventing Na'Vi from getting healing. But Crook is always so crazy. One of the best strategists that we have within Marvel Rivals Ignite, but we are rolling out as Na'Vi now on the defense. Look at this composition. Jerky is still on the sideline.
Energy is getting everything at the moment. It's a battle of the pockets. Psylocke versus Star-Lord, who's going to be able to find more value? Energy can try and follow up, but the question is on what? SparkChief on the Captain America is the answer, but he just can't get close enough. The pure potential of the Winter Soldier to deal with these flyers, the tainted voltage connections are so brutal!
Oh my. Bucky Barnes landing 2. First energy next onto Vez. Energies has had enough. Now swapping over to the Psylocke, we get to see the 1v1 matchup that we were expecting, Moxie.
But only one of them has the Emma. Raajaro gives Jerky the lead in terms of that department, but Cooper on the Mantis gives Energy the lead in regards to the damage boost potential.
No, Vez has that Emma, and it's not banned against them. We're gonna have to see, but at least with the bubble, you can protect your backline against the threat that is Jerky and TrqstMe. As TrqstMe looking to fly in a beautiful sleep, as we see from the Mantis of the hands of Cooper. But look at Crook and look at Fate. They have their ultimates, and they can enable Jerky, who goes in with a Dance of the Butterfly.
Dance of the Butterfly, Soul Resurgence from Cooper. The body stack is good, and they are going to lose a player on the trade. Fate goes down, no invisible boundary, which means no way of shutting down the Rage of Ultron. A sacrifice is required. Na'Vi turn their attention to deal with the Ultron, and FlyQuest sweep elsewhere.
You're seeing double here. It was 2 Dance of the Butterfly side by side as FlyQuest. They paved their path, they build up the space, and you can already see SparkChief holding up. But when Na'Vi recontests here, Moxie, they still have the invisible boundary. Raajaro with the Sound of Seduction, and TrqstMe with the anti-heal from the Feast of the Abyss.
They have to be so concerned about Raajaro opening that space and TrqstMe catching the disengagement with the Feast of the Abyss. There's the Sonic Seduction trying to force FlyQuest back. There's the Force Physics grabbing them forcefully back. And Vez falls. Level 1 Crook finds the elimination. Feast of the Abyss is surely going to be coming on through the moment fate of both worlds ends.
Vez cannot catch a break. And with Cooper going down next, Fate, he's had the invisible boundary. And again, as you hear in your nightmares, Naga was looking to get these resets, but they forced back FlyQuest. The moment that they lost Vez, they knew that that was going to be Na'Vi stopping him before that first checkpoint.
Look how pushed up as well they are. They're really going to pressure FlyQuest and trying to burn one of these ultimates before they can get to the objective or cost them time. Dance of the Butterflies finds the connection on the isolated back line, and blink and you'll miss it. FlyQuest are sent packing, but before they get an opportunity to react.
And Energy just witnessed a crime. There was nothing Energy could have done right there. Just literally looking at TrqstMe and Jerky having their way up on that high ground as FlyQuest back to the drawing board. They're looking to recontest.
I mean, it's a lose-lose situation. If you preemptively pop the Freedom Charge, everyone from NAVI are just going to hold off on investing their ultimates until it's done. At least FlyQuest do have the ultimates now to be able to use. Speaking of which, Dance of the Butterflies comes on through, but it's healed. Level 1 Crook with the sustainability, Fate of both worlds. Vez might be able to shut it down with the Meteor and Connection. Finds the pick onto the Lunar Snow, and that now impacts the rest of the team's sustainability.
That was a win con. That's what he needed to do, and it was great communication from FlyQuest. You saw the Invisible Woman shield coming up, and it was destroyed just like that. And he was able to get the Meteor M, and they're able to get this next checkpoint.
No Strange Portal. FlyQuest had already got the objective so close to the checkpoint that NAVI don't get the opportunity to stall for a Strange Portal play to come on through. And FlyQuest can continue this momentum moving forward. Rage of Ultron, Soul Resurgence, both of those are strategist ultimates that allow you to take momentum and space against your opponent.
SparkChief, though, he's held all the way up, trying to take a different angle, and it's because they want to be able to control this choke. It can be so lethal as he dives into the backline together with Vision and the Rage of Ultron. They're forcing them back, and he finds Naga. Huge pick, preventing the Kraken impact. It starts rolling forward. Energy finding Crook, and it is Navi that are sent back.
That's exactly what FlyQuest needed to do too, because Rage of Ultron and Soul Resurgence would not have stood up to the damage potential of Kraken impact. FlyQuest, by doing that, bought the opportunity for Zelos to build the Fate of both worlds and sustain against Navi's win condition when we head into this next fight, and they'll be doing so without Jerky because SparkChief tracked the Psylocke down.
He has to keep doing that because we always know Jerky is in that back line. Crazy to see how Jerky's been positioning himself. But SparkChief is going to be able to protect his strategist. The Sonic Seduction coming out together with TrqstMe and the Feast of the Abyss. Look at Fate with the Invisible Boundary that enabled that of Naga. And they're going to be able to wait this on the ultimate of Cooper. But Zelos could help them out as Energy moves up. Dance of the Butterflies on both sides.
It's the bait! Dance of the Butterflies forces Fate of both worlds. Look at the Winter Soldier, because that Kraken impact needs to be dealt with now. Aggressive plays comes on out from level 1 Crook, letting the team move forward onto the objective. The slam down of the Venom and the Kraken impact commitment, but Vez slows it all down. Meteor M absorbs the Bucky's shots, and FlyQuest hold on.
Big here, at least before Naga is still able to find Energy. Oh my gosh, the call out, by the way, from that choke is crazy. Knowing that Energy wanted to move up on top of the hook. He snipes him, the pushback. He can't get away. He gets whiplashed as he's forced back into the farm room gate. And that's with him going down with the Rage of Ultron.
FlyQuest have to lose these players and lose them quickly. Navi chasing for yet more stall potentials. Half a minute left. FlyQuest, they've got the opening, they've got the Rage of Ultron. Do they go the Strange Portal and try and flip these positions?
It could be a risk, though. Once you use that Doctor Strange portal, it's 3-minute cooldown, and with less than 15 seconds on the clock, is this the time to use it? They're looking to move up. They haven't swapped just yet. They want to push in with the Rage of Ultron first.
But this is dangerous. You have to worry about the bottom Kraken impact, but that first pick opens the way immediately. Navi down the Winter Soldier, down the Kraken impact threat to hold FlyQuest off. Rage of Ultron gets bubbled, forces out the Invisible Boundary. FlyQuest disengage it because it's off of the objective, and they still have room to breathe. Dance of the Butterflies from Energy manages to bypass the CC coming up from Raajaro, and FlyQuest should be able to take second.
Off the triple, overtime activated. They stop Jerky, and they get this next checkpoint as Navi are forced to hold back. And FlyQuest, as the crowd comes alive, they're giving them their energy. But this is what's scary now, Moxie. Once you force yourself into overtime, guess what? Now you still have only a minute and less than 20 seconds on the clock.
What's really scary as well is that they had to burn both the Ultron and the Mantis ultimate together. Now it's just Fate of both worlds, which means that Navi, there's so many more fights until we hit that checkpoint. They can use the Psylocke, they can use the Bucky, either of which to force out Zelos' Fate of both worlds and find the value with the one that wasn't burned. Dance of the Butterflies, Feast of the Abyss, they're trying to find the pick even through the Fate of both worlds.
They force force it out. They force it out together at the very least here. They can't get the follow-up, the protection that we're seeing onto the backline with Vision getting called out by Raajaro. They force them back, and with the Diamond Form and the Choke Slam, it also forces the bubble out.
There's manages to find a big pick onto TrqstMe. FlyQuest off at the back of that. Think that this is winnable. They full send it.
Wow.
What a freeze from level 1 Crook. NAVI disengaging it. They've still got the distance to back on off. The Captain America putting the pressure on the back line so that FlyQuest can keep on moving on that objective. But we still have to look out for the Kraken impact. There's no strategist ultimate to survive it. It's all up to Vez to shut it down. Down to the butterflies comes on through. Forces level 1 Crook's ultimate. But NAVI are still holding on to the Kraken impact. And it's truly going to be impactful when overtime hits.
Got less than 5 seconds now on the clock. You have to stay here with Jerky getting that pick onto Vision. No Rage of Ultron. Cooper has missed the Meteor M. It shuts down Naga. Leave my backline alone. And now they cannot get off the point.
NAVI have to just stall out this objective control for as long as they can to get this coming on through. They're so close to defender spawn. Vision with the Rage of Ultron forced into using it. Beast of the Abyss comes on through from TrqstMe. Doesn't find the pick. Zelos is already down. No Fate of both wants to cycle after the Ultron's ultimate is done. And FlyQuest are missing sustainability. They're missing numbers. NAVI are shutting them down. It's going to be a strange portal that allows Zelos to come back on through. Fate of both worlds manages to make it onto the card, and FlyQuest are thrown a lifeline.
This is what they saved the portal for. The 3-minute cooldown. But look at Jerky. He's got the Dance of the Butterflies ready to go as he can try to find FlyQuest. He uses it right on top of the portal. Both teams, both Dance of the Butterflies, they are having a waltz, but it is Jerky who dances on top as NAVI put themselves at match point.
NAVI are so good at being able to fix some of those issues and come back again stronger. You're not going to strike lightning twice.
Yeah, I mean, this side, when you're looking here at NAVI...
In the lineups, folks, will we get the sweep or the beginning of a reverse sweep starting here at the Heart of Heaven, the newest map, as we see Angela locked and loaded, and once...
NAVI, just the way we saw Virtus Pro targeted out the Invis woman to make sure that he has denied the Guardian Shield lifeline.
Take that away and you look at the rollouts that Heart of Heaven provides. Hanging out on top of that terracotta rooftop. Energy getting to that position that you were mentioning too, but with Jerky being on the Hela, sure. You have no Phoenix, you have no Psylocke, but with Jerky taking an off angle, this could help enable TrqstMe to get the dive.
Yeah, you've got verticality as well with the shift, where you can get yourself onto that rooftop angle and try and contest on the hit scan. Both the Phoenix and the Namor. Raajaro walks away with the first elimination. BRB will be able to bring it back, and Energy is still in his position.
Wow.
But a freeze from level 1 Crook sets up the pick, and FlyQuest don't have the BRB to bring the Phoenix from the ashes this time.
That means that they go on the Doctor Strange and they'll probably portal to recontest just in case. With Crook getting taken out, it is FlyQuest that come out on top.
I don't think they need the portal at this point. As yet, NAVI, they lose too many players. FlyQuest, there was no portal cast. I don't know if it was used in terms of a cooldown, but Energy is actually going to be returning on the Hela, and we have something that's a little bit Season 0 coded in terms of duelist lineup. It's just missing that Punisher or Hawkeye, as Vision is going to make sure that NAVI are missing Jerky. Fate with the BRB brings him back though, and that means that NAVI still have the confidence to take the fight. Galactic Legend covered with the Bulwark. FlyQuest tried to shut it down with the Cosmic Gun Amplifier. Naga is going so low, but he's not falling, and Navi's players on the ground level are sweeping FlyQuest numbers.
Biggest difference is that Cooper had gone down first from the very beginning of that fight, and when you're dealing with Crook, who has stayed alive, it enables Naga to control this point, as now they're already looking to get this payload moving. The turtle, as now the recontention from FlyQuest.
No portal.
No portal.
Coming on through from FlyQuest, so there is still a healthy amount of time on the bank for NAVI as they push into second. Energy off of the Hela over to the Winter Soldier. Knows that NAVI are going to be trying to play aggressive, continue applying the pressure on the defense to not allow them to stabilize and get yet more distance covered.
be a strat difference here as TrqstMe with the Freedom Charge. He rallies the Avengers to hold up, and look at the way that NAVI rotate through these ultimates, because you also have Cooper, SparkChief, who is looking to get everybody grouped together. As Raajaro, he's found energy. The BRB brings him right back. Cooper keeps him alive. The fate of both worlds as the whale comes crashing down together with the boost, allows him to get the follow-up. But again, it's the BRB, but this time from NAVI.
Meteor M from Vez used defensively against the Goddess of Death. Doesn't find an elimination, but buys FlyQuest the opportunity to turn the tide. NAVI, though, combine Meteor M, Cosmic Yawn Amplifier. So much damage done. Requires less time to fully charge up for the pick potential, too. So FlyQuest don't get the opportunity to overload it. And now NAVI continue the momentum as FlyQuest give up Kraken Impact Charge to swap energy over to the Psylocke.
Even in the second segment, when you're playing so close together, you have the walls next to you, they don't want to waste any time like they did in our previous series when we saw FlyQuest play in Heart of Heaven. Now look at energy already onto the Psylocke, but it is Naga who has the Galactic Legend, and there is no strategist ultimates from FlyQuest to help them out in this equation.
The Psylocke is go big or go home, and FlyQuest are in danger of doing just that if it does not work out for them. Through the clouds, energy moves, Galactic Legend directly on top of FlyQuest's players. No space to disengage it, and NAVI find the pick. First off to Zelos, no more Rocket BRB, which means that all of the numbers are just going to continue falling lower and lower as NAVI continue moving forward and forward.
It's a checkmate from the very beginning of the pick and ban. When you don't have a lot of strategists to work with, the strategists from FlyQuest, they're struggling a lot. They didn't have those ultimates to deal with the Galactic Legend, and guess what? Now NAVI, they get the second checkpoint.
They do have a couple of split players, though. The Hela wanting to play the off angle rather than with the core stack does mean that Down to the Butterflies has pick potential. But NAVI have so much time plus the Freedom Charge to be able to sustain through it. FlyQuest have to make a move now. What's going to be the go sign? There's the Down to the Butterflies. Freedom Charge not enough to keep level 1 Crook up, but at the end of the Psylocke ultimate, Raajaro is able to catch him with the Mag Cannon, and he has fallen. FlyQuest have to rely on fate of both worlds instead.
Raajaro's been popping off, and even with SparkChief being able to find Jerky, it is the BRB again. The Rocket having so much potential here on this map, and together with the Sia, Raajaro, he does it again, while Jerky, he gets 2 more, and it's a mop here onto FlyQuest as NAVI are clearing another team fight.
FlyQuest are forced to hold on to Meteor M2. They know that Jerky has the Goddess of Death. They know as well that level 1 Crook, the fate of both worlds. They need the one-shot potential to try to lock one of those ultimates down. Freedom Charge should be able to pave their way onto point, but if it comes through preemptively, NAVI can just disengage and play the angles that afford the Hela for those pick potentials. Look at Jerky on the sideline too. FlyQuest, if they want to contest this objective, go directly past the Hela.
It's giving us Psylocke vibes here with the way that Jerky's taking a nice off angle, but it's to split the attention away from FlyQuest to enable NAVI to hold up. Look at the follow-up, by the way, between TrqstMe and the Captain America as Naga, the Galactic Legend, over to the high ground.
The overlap! Meteor M absorbs it, but at the same time, Freedom Charge is burned, and now they don't have anything in the pocket for Goddess of Death coming on through from NAVI's end. FlyQuest need to find the pick and shut down onto the Hela, but the wrong Hela has fallen.
Count the freezes from Crook as Jerky takes to the skies. No BRB as Energy gets the retaliation onto Jerky. But look at the space that NAVI have built up as they get to the next choke, and Vision's forced to back away.
They're going to have Meteor M fade the Cosmic Yawn Amplifier too. It's fresh into the fight, so Vision will have the Blessing of the Deep to try to interact with the both of it. Cosmic Yawn Amplifier comes on through. Everyone from NAVI getting the damage boost potential. FlyQuest have to send players onto the objective, otherwise the round finishes. They have no choice but to go directly into the damage, past the Vanguards, past the Starlord. NAVI are not allowing FlyQuest any opportunity to turn it, and they will complete the full push with what a time.
Third place, 40,000 USD.
FlyQuest look stronger as well on their defenses historically on this map. Now they have to play the attack. They're not even going to be opening up with the Strange Portal, which is what they usually do, and then swap over to the Venom from SparkChief to be able to meet them with the back angle secured for that Hela, but that means that it's predictable. NAVI, though, punish. If you don't use the Strange Portal, you have to go through the gauntlet that is the poke set up on this Hela angle, and they've already been able to find the pick. TrqstMe just taking away all of the space.
And it forces the BRB to be used already off the beginning here. As TrqstMe, he dives in and dives right back to help his strategist, because you can see SparkChief also trying to take a different off angle. It's a nice fight sky here, up and above. The skies are congested, and SparkChief finds Jerky, but again, it's the BRB to bring him right back.
But that means that the Hela is out of the position that FlyQuest have to worry about. There is a window for them to get to be a little bit more aggressive. So now it falls to the Star-Lord to mark the Vanguards out and allow Navi to stabilize, getting Jerky into a better and more punishing position. The AoE damage, the force onto Vision, means that he's not there to try and keep Jerky in check, but you know who is? Vez, the hero that FlyQuest needed when the hour was at its darkest. FlyQuest finally feet on the objective. Navi, though, they try and turn it with a strange portal play.
Time to wake up, but here comes Naga. It's going to be the recontest. They stopped them here, but they too late. A pixel too late. The turtle starts moving up, and now that portal all for nothing.
And Navi, they had to throw in the towel. They could not go for the commitment of the fight, because when you move into second, it's more important, especially on a Helicon position, to establish your angle before the fight begins, other than risking getting staggered on that fight on first. FlyQuest getting to move on forward though. Vision with the poke angle, trying to shut down the Star-Lord. TrqstMe making sure that Navi get to play the way they want to, aggressively running towards this Hela.
It's the mirror to get the counter pick here, while TrqstMe rallies everybody together with a freedom charge. Fate with the seal, a freeze this time onto Raajaro as SparkChief tries to find Jerky. And with no BRB, they don't bring him back. Level 1 Crook can keep this fight going. He's got the fate of both worlds as we have a dance-off between both sides with Cooper.
Ooh, the minion doesn't find the shutdown, and that means that it's not there to stop the Galactic Legend the way that Raajaro is to absorb energies. Energy is still able to find level 1 Crook, though. He's brought back by the Rocket BRB, the Soul Drainer, trying to put a stop to the Star-Lord, but Energy's movement is good. He manages to make it out.
Energy trying to do everything between the Galactic Legend to shut down that Meteor M originally, with Jerky getting taken out earlier too. And Vision with the reset, the Goddess of Death takes the skies, and it's looking to take some space.
Goddess of Death looking for these players. Navi looking to still keep TrqstMe on that objective, making sure that FlyQuest don't get free push, making sure that they get to set up for another fight on second, where the Hela is going to be in control of those angles, and that is why FlyQuest are already posted so far forward.
Nice little cheeky angle for a reset in case the Star-Lord needs to go back together with a team up of the Rocket. Look at Zelos with that Sia, but same thing for Fates, as now you see Energy taking a different angle here. Very similar, but you have to pinpoint where Jerky is, who also has a reset.
Goddess of Death is up in the hands of Jerky, but Energy isn't giving him the space to try and keep a track of Vision right now. Both the Captain America and the Star-Lord forcing the Hela's reposition, and she's got to burn the Goddess of Death, but the angle just means that FlyQuest can disengage it and wait it out without burning the ultimates.
Huge. That was so worth there. Can't get the reset and doesn't get the space with that angle specifically, while Jerky gets taken down at the hands of SparkChief. They pinpointed who the problem is.
Massive play as well. That Goddess of Death does not give you a health reset the way Ensong Inferno does, so FlyQuest are able to time the Hela ultimate out and still find the elimination. Navi down one of their duelists, relying on the Galactic Legend. Freedom charge from SparkChief trying to heal FlyQuest through it, as Navi want to hold on long enough for Jerky to come back with the Daredevil.
The Daredevil's out, and now with FlyQuest taking the skies, Energy, Galactic Legend, Jerky, he's found Cooper, no sustainability. There's only so much only Energy can do, but at least they have time. 2 minutes, less than 50 seconds on the clock.
But the Daredevil is going to give Navi all of the information about where FlyQuest are positioning. Crucially as well, all of the information about where Vision on this Hela is going to be. If they want to just walk her down, make her use Goddess of Death in a bad position, the way FlyQuest did against Jerky, they absolutely can. As Jerky keeps the pressure up onto SparkChief to make sure that the Captain America does not pressure his backline.
See where Jerky's going to be able to position himself, with Vision having the reset too with the Goddess of Death. The backline may need some help here as Navi move up. Jerky trying to hold them back together with Naga up in the skies. It's the Sia follow-up here as they try to control the turtle together, and it's also going to be the damage boost forcing FlyQuest back. But Jerky, he takes him to court with the lawyer Matt Murdock coming in, following up with TrqstMe to find Cooper and Energy.
That Cosmic Ion Amplifier, the damage with the 40% boost, and then to top it all off, the late pick onto Vez. FlyQuest have one good clean fight left before we go in to panic portal territory.
Zelos having that Sia and looking to see where he's going to put his BRBs. Even bigger energy, by the way, over onto the Bucky.
Spark the Groot.
Trying to get the follow-up. It's the bread and butter as he lets the double out. Jerky, but it's energy. Finding Crook, but he's got the BRB. This is why the rocket is so important.
The wombo combo though, Spark moved over to the Groot, so close to strangling Prison. Na'Vi burn fate of both worlds now. They need to finish off the fight. They need to stop the strangling Prison. Connecting into the Kraken impact. FLYQUEST have the wombo combos. The objective is so close to the checkpoint. They should have second and a refresh on their time to head into third.
Ooh, they're getting it here. Vision finding fate. They're right there as they try to clear the next corner, but that was huge. Yes, the Meteor M was forced out, but that also prevented Naga from holding up with the Galactic Legend.
Also, FLYQUEST did not have to burn the wombo combo of Strangling Prison and Kraken Impact, so they've got snowball potential headed into this next fight. It's all about Raajaro. The Meteor M can absorb both. The Strangling Prison, the Goddess of Death. Does Vision use his early to try to force that Meteor M out so SparkChief and Energy's ultimates find more value?
A tailed all this time looking at SparkChief here on the group. Strangling Prison still. Freedom charge. They have to find Raajaro. He pulls up the walls, even with that freeze behind him from level 1 Crook. As the freeze gets retaliated now, this time onto TrqstMe to delay that freedom charge. Goddess of Death, the reset from Vision, and he finds a 3K with a BRB to bring Crook back, but you won't have your teammates to help you out.
Na'Vi trying to get this exit trade onto Energy. They know that the Bucky still has that Kraken impact, which could come into play massively in this next engagement, especially when Zelos amps it up with the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier. It all comes down to this last fight. It needs to be a clean sweep because Navi's respawn is right there. 40 seconds left. Can the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier wave goodbye to Navi, or do we wave goodbye to FLYQUEST in this tournament?
Depends if level 1 Crook stays alive for the fate of both worlds to help them out. Here's a Sia. Look behind you. Raajaro gets taken out. This is the opportunity. They have the number advantage as the reset comes in the 1v1.
Vision wins the 1v1. Repositioning around the bubble with the shift. Manages to shut the Nemo down. And Energy is popping off. Babies up by the fate of both worlds. The crowd goes wild. FLYQUEST should go into the overtime half.
The crowd gives them the energy. With Vision finding Raajaro, it's just a matter of time as the star comes out and they do it. FLYQUEST, they take it to the finish line. We keep this going. Oh my emotional stance here as SparkChief together with Energy are going to be rotating to the side. They have to call out where this BRB could be as they've called out where the Star-Lord is.
The shield for his team. The shield that allows FLYQUEST to move from main onto the sidelines. They've already been able to destroy the teleporter pad coming on through from Na'Vi, which would allow that Star-Lord so much more aggressive plays to put the pressure on the back line. They find the BRB. This Captain America has allowed them to move on forward, and FLYQUEST stop picking up the point percentage.
Huge cooldown, and TrqstMe won't be coming back. No BRB as SparkChief tries to dive the backline. Beautiful protect off the bubble as Jerky finds Vision. But guess what? Zelos, he brings him back as their BRB is still up.
The strategists too, not getting to heal the team, not getting to build these ultimates because of the pressure coming on through for SparkChief. But speaking about coming on through, the portal has come on through from Na'Vi's end. Vision untouchable, unflappable on the sidelines, picks up the eliminations, and FLYQUEST in overtime should be able to pick up first.
The job's not over. No body block off the portal, but they get the overtime and they get this turtle moving.
You only need one. That is the staple play from the defense on overtime. When we see Na'Vi bank up these ultimates, they will catch them out. FLYQUEST have to continue applying pressure, have to continue disrupting the ultimate batteries from this team, and SparkChief is doing just that. The Captain America ahead of his team, buying so much space.
Mark Naga, that is the goal. Find where he is as fate with the Sia. A huge freeze onto TrqstMe as Jerky. He's found Vision. SparkChief with the freedom charge. They need help. They need to sustain the BRB. It brings Cooper back, and this is important with the fate of both worlds.
Meteor M absorbs the Galactic Legend. Vest doesn't find the pick though, and Na'Vi, they force out Cooper's fate of both worlds. Level 1 Crook gets to use his leader. The damage boost is there for TrqstMe on the Feast of the Abyss. FLYQUEST trying to do everything that they can to stop the Venom's ultimate coming on through. Vision dodges it with the Goddess of Death, but the damage will be absorbed by the Meteor M, and Na'Vi's Goddess of Death is still in play.
This is looking to get stopped as with nobody left. Overtime ticking away. They're desperate. desperate, and with none of their strategists able to hold it down.
Confidence. If they lose the first fight and they lose first so quickly, that's when the nerves will be there in full. As TrqstMe on the Venom, NAVI yet again holding onto that strange portal, wanting to use it when it counts.
They get the extra shield too right there in the spawn room gates before they're going to be able to put the BRB somewhere else, probably hidden in the mist. As you get to see where SparkChief is positioned up on the high ground, trying to give them more pressure, but everybody's on this rooftop.
Marking the rotation, the way that FlyQuest took to get onto first, but NAVI, they go up, they go above. Can they go up back into that grand final? It's going to be Jerky on the Hella looking for the pick potential.
The Hallelujah's Vision gets to stay alive though, and now Jerky, he gets marked, but they haven't found the BRB. He'll come right back around as level 1 Crook. They get the retaliation, they find Cooper, both BRBs used up, and now Vision, he can't come in.
That's the soft dive, forcing the BRB first, and that means that, like you said, Vision will not get brought back, but SparkChief and Energy together bring back FlyQuest chances. Vision onto the Strange, a minute has passed, NAVI denied any point percentage.
Naga has stayed alive for so long and needs some help as a portal comes in from Vision. FlyQuest, they're not giving this up just yet. They had the number advantage, so you can see where that BRB's positioned too, as SparkChief is trying to stop them.
Energy has seen he's too vulnerable. On that Hella, moves over to the Phoenix, will still draw the attention of Fire on that dive on the isolated targets, but he's got the ability with the shift to reposition, get the item, get the bubble. Cosmic Gun Amplifier comes on through from Fade. For NAVI, they can't afford to utilize all of their ultimates, but they might just have to. Fade of both worlds from FlyQuest holds the defensive position in it. Feast of the Abyss layered with the Galactic Legend. It doesn't get the eliminations, but it does force FlyQuest off of the point.
But this fight is going to keep on going with Crook about to get the Fate of both worlds, and with the BRB bringing Jerky back. Look at Raajaro, who's backing away.
The Wombo, Energy and Vez, the Phoenix, the Meteor, the Endsong Inferno. Can it shut down level 1 Crook with the Fate of both worlds? Endsong Inferno takes to the sky. Vez holds on to the Meteor. Zelos gets shut down. Cooper falls. The impact, though, does manage to find the footing onto NAVI.
And with an Eye of Agamotto not hitting anybody with no follow-up, trust me, he's cleared this point, and it looks like we'll keep this going, because FlyQuest already used up the portal.
Goddess of Death comes on through from Jerky. NAVI should be able to pick up first, and this next fight determines it. FlyQuest, no ultimates to their name, but Energy onto the Bucky, Vision onto the Hella. A first pick here from this team could be crucial.
Overtime now activated. FlyQuest looking to regroup here to stop them in this next choke, as they're going to be grouped up together, Vision being here on this Hella.
Spark is looking for the back line. He's being cleared though, being marked by that Star-Lord. He can hold that position. He's got the teleporter ready to reposition to his back line. If he bites off a little bit more than he can chew, Vision looking for those angles, looking for those peaks. Manages to find a huge one. Face falls, level 1, Crook falls. FlyQuest with the board.
They're clearing the points! They're stopping them! FlyQuest are looking to take this to another one! As NAVI, they're looking to keep this dog going. With Fate going down first, that means no BRB.
The respawns though! Navi's respawns are so close to where the fight is going through! Cosmic Gun Amplifier is destroyed! TrqstMe gets brought back by the BRB! Jerky coming back with the Wolverine for the pass, the Croc for cracking it! Backstands on off! And FlyQuest will continue in the series!
We go next, SparkChief! The emotions are bursting! The crowd goes... As SparkChief, his fellow Vanguard, we go next. Lock it in as we take a look at our result.
A ban on, I was gonna say maybe Emma
Ah, yes. Okay,
and the Luna. NAVI have been
off the map.
FlyQuest not going to have SparkChief on the Captain America, but still dive. SparkChief will be rolling out on the Angela, but it's going to be Super Soldier Factory, and it's now super important. FlyQuest shut down the It's Jeff Eats from Fade because the drop-off location is right next to the point.
Get ready for those playmaking opportunities. Look at where TrqstMe's position already on top of that pillar, while FlyQuest decided to take onto the high ground in this 1v1 here on the bridge. Naga already going to be able to get that burst damage as everyone's grouped up together.
Normally, taking a linear angle is perfect for a Jeff, but against a Hella Namor, it's something you can't risk. Navi with the wraparound rotations continue applying pressure on every single angle. As FlyQuest, we can see Vision already forced into burning the Namor's defensive by the pressure coming on through from TrqstMe, who once is burned out will find the elimination. Energy without his mobility should be vulnerable too, but he does find a pick onto the Phoenix. X.
Big pick here after he was so incredibly low. He gets re-sustained almost immediately. Have you seen a shish kebab? He gets sent down, but guess what? He actually was able to move right back forward.
No splash. Raajaro with the diamond form utilizes the kick to get himself back onto the point. And NAVI still have both of their vanguards up, but FlyQuest still have energy. And when he's hitting shots like that, that hella is a problem.
The 1v1 off the Angelas, the one-winged Angel to then find Vez off the map. That's what we're talking about when it comes to Factory as the Itch Chef comes in from Fate.
Does Fate get someone? He's making a beeline over towards the environmental.
Stagger.
Oh, yeah. That is brutal. He doesn't go for the environmental drop-off. Like you said, he diverts his course, he adjusts. He takes a left at the U-turn and decides to stagger out Cooper on the Mantis so that FlyQuest can't push forward now with the Soul Resurgence.
It's just a dead end out here too, but at least they'll be able to come in with that ultimate ready to go. Energy getting stunned out, but he does have the Goddess of Death for this next fight for a reset. Look for that Silent Seduction from Raajaro, as well as Naga close to that End Song Inferno. Energy backing away here together with Cooper though. You talk about the Mantis ult brings everybody together, and it's going to be Raajaro looking at them as they try to reposition behind the pillar.
But it's not CC immune. Energy, however, will be able to find the opening pick onto the rocket, which means no BRB. End Song Inferno tries to slow down the momentum from Energy's pickoff, as FlyQuest have to worry about the Phoenix stunning them up, and NAVI have to worry about the damage potential of the Hela.
He put him to sleep up in the air, right on top of the pit. I mean, when you talk about Hell's Heaven, he straight up sent him to hell right there, stopping them. But at the moment, they finally get the flip, nearing 15%. But that's to combat that of NAVI already having 50%.
They don't have anything either to combat out the dance of this butterfly damage coming on through from Jerky. Nothing but the bodies stacked between themselves. Heaven's Retribution leads them to dance of the butterflies. Everyone for FlyQuest all stacked up in one small space, and Jerky sends them all the way back to spawn.
Off of the Heaven's Retribution, I mean, who said you don't need just the brute as they find SparkChief at the very end? Sure, we saw some picks off the whale from Vision, but with no follow-ups and being outnumbered, NAVI just reclaimed the point.
FlyQuest know that they're not going to be able to find the space for the Hela. Energy swaps over to the Winter Soldier. Vision now takes up the mantle of the Goddess of Death as FlyQuest look to make a rotation up onto the high ground. NAVI will be able to put the pressure through though with those Jeff bubbles and the eat. SparkChief looking for the disruption. There's nothing to stop the It's Jeff connection.
And with the Sia called in now, it allows Naga to get that damage boost. The Itch Chef coming in next. Jerky, he gets stumped at the very end here too. After trying to make a play, the Itch Chef from Fate, he's found to himself as he's gonna try to get away. Shimmy Shade to try to find his dance and get protected. Yes, they stun him, but it also allows him to get the follow-up as FlyQuest. Cooper getting stunned here. Energy gets taken out. No Kraken impact, and it is Navi taking over this fight. As the portal recontest comes in, overtime is forced at the hands of Vez.
Serpentine sticking move, and well, FlyQuest aren't going to be able to move out of the way of that one. Assassin's Charge might have assassinated FlyQuest's chances at walking away with Super Soldier Factory.
No, the body block. The Angela is a problem, but at least we're...
But Angela is just as good, if not better, a Vanguard for the plays that NAVI want to enable as FlyQuest going to be putting Vision off of the Hela onto the Adam Warlock, Energy onto the Phoenix. So we're going for a sustainability composition, but you have to worry about NAVI with Fate's Jeff. I feel like this is a play you can do only here on Frozen Airfield because of the environmental drop-off to get the Adam punishment when he goes for the res.
Fate Jeff and then the wobble combo potential too with the Dance of Butterflies together with TrqstMe and that Strangling Prison, but he doesn't need it because he's found Vision here, but he's got the passive, the Cocoon, to come right back, but he doesn't have that Karmic Revival, so it's back to the drawing board here as he gets sent down next.
Oh, he comes back, brings himself back into the mix because FlyQuest thought it was winnable after Dance of the Butterflies had ended with the Soul Bond, and now they're going to be down that crucial cooldown. FlyQuest do have the Strangling Prison, but NAVI have the means of being able to dodge out of it. Fate with the CC immunity on the Itch Chef cast, potentially as well Goddess of Death to be able to boost above it.
The fact that NAVI still have 5 ultimates, they only use the Dance of Butterflies, is so crucial. But then you look at FlyQuest with Vez holding up, SparkChief coming together, he's got the Strangling Prison, and look at Zelos for the sustainability together with Cooper. Yeah, they stop it right through to the other side, and he sets up the wall.
The Trainer almost takes Vision out of the mix. And remember, he doesn't have the self-res. That Adam is going to be vulnerable. FlyQuest might lose players to the Invis boundary, combined Strangling Prison and Goddess of Death. But FlyQuest try and heal through it. It's going to be Cooper with the Fate of both worlds. Vision still holding onto the Karmic Revival cast.
And the Itch Chef, Fate comes back around as a Dance of the Butterfly, another one from Jerky. Vision brings him back, born again, as the Adam Warlock says here. And while he gets Bez together too, Fate had used up the Itch Chef earlier to get right back into this fight before.
Psionic Seduction from FlyQuest to push from their position of the red spot onto the objective. NAVI don't have the Strategist ultimates, so FlyQuest, they don't have the ultimates, but they do have the resource. Soulbind is a defensive cooldown that has just the same value as an ultimate, and NAVI are feeling the pressure.
Still, we're stalling for quite some time. They're nearing 80%. FlyQuest finally, they flip the point. And now when Navi comes right back around, Crook will have that invisible boundary. And then you look to the other side, FlyQuest, they need to enable energy to get another Dance of Butterfly.
Composition flip too, off of the Hela onto the Winter Soldier, because they know with that point percentage difference, FlyQuest have to apply pressure and then disengage, and that's what Bucky punishes. Both the grab from the Invis and the hook could be the thing that sends FlyQuest losing one of their players too early.
And it matters if he gets that reset. If you get that Karmic Revival, you have to pinpoint where Vision is. As he's trying to get the Fault together, Naga's about to get it. The Kraken impact, the invisible boundary though, to combat that of SparkChief. He brings them together as the Kraken impact gets taken in, and Naga, he gets the reset. Again and again we go. And with Fate and the Eternal Bond, Navi, they move up to evict FlyQuest off this point.
Fate of both worlds denies the reset opportunity, but Jerky catches the disengagement. FlyQuest had to be pushed out of that position because of the threat of Terror Cape from Fate's position of the Eternal Bond, and Navi will be able to claim the eliminations. FlyQuest do still have Vision with the Karmic Revival, however, and we're about to go into a final fight territory. SparkChief, he did it before in Heart of Heaven. Can he do it again on the Captain America? Navi decide to go first. They're going before FlyQuest get an opportunity to stabilize.
Love that Emma Cross shield, by the way, prevents the hook from landing as Crook, he gets a finishing blow onto SparkChief. Overtime taken away as Navi are looking to finish it here. The back away though, as they call out Vision and the Karmic Revival coming in.
Karmic Revival is going to end in a matter of moments, and that's when Navi decide to make that move. Kraken impact coming on through. No Strangling Prison, but the Gruul isolates them. Now it's up to Energy. He's got his own Kraken impact with the healing from the invisible boundary. He dodges the cast of the Gruul ultimate. The CC frames on the ultimate carry him above it, but Navi are carrying themselves through the fight. FlyQuest weren't able to find the eliminations.
And with Cooper coming back on the Doctor Strange, is it enough time with overtime? SparkChief, he's trying to keep the dream alive. The stall as the portal needs to come out, but is it too little, too late? It is by a second. Navi, they take the loser's final match and they move on to the grand finals.
Grand finals, an EMEA versus EMEA rematch of the ages. Will it be Virtus Pro, the team that everyone said was the strongest in the world at the beginning of this year? Or will it be the defending champions, Navi, who bought themselves a moment of redemption, a chance to go up against their rival? But we have to say, what a play from FlyQuest. Truly a team that will go down, will be remembered when we look back on the Marvel Rivals esports scene. This is a team of prodigies. This is a team that were looking to prove themselves. And when the moments mattered the most, when those overtime picks came on through, that's exactly what you could do. SparkChief with the Captain America so stable. Cooper always getting to come on through with those ultimates when FlyQuest needed the heals. And Vision, Energy, the picks that they required went... Oh, Navi, like you said, they read it perfectly, that last fight. They know that FlyQuest are coming in with wombo combos, and they go first. The Emma's Psionic Seduction put so much pressure onto FlyQuest because we're about to hit overtime. If FlyQuest hadn't moved on forward...
Matchups have looked tough on them, but I'm telling you, on the end there, look like their old selves again. Definitely bouncing back, but you cannot stop Navi.
When you have those, like an event like this for FlyQuest, when you have unbeatable groups, when you basically drop a hand